Prosecutors say this case centers on enormous amounts of fentanyl, cocaine, and meth flowing into the United States through San Diego, and they're offering millions of dollars for any tips that help bring him to justice.
An unprecedented life sentence punishing particularly serious crimes has just been brought down on a notorious transnational kingpin. The United States justice system has officially cast its net to end the days of sowing fear and devastating communities by this most dangerous criminal network. This historic case is not only a resounding victory for the law, but also a profound wake-up call for each of us to look back at how to protect our families from the toxic traps lurking in society. What do you think about this ironclad punishment by the scales of justice? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Please hit like and subscribe to the channel to join us in spreading humane messages to protect the peace for every home. On February 26, 2026, a historic milestone in the fight to protect the peace of the community was established. The United States Justice Agency in San Diego officially announced a landmark superseding indictment. This indictment is aimed directly at a notorious figure with the alias La Rana, namely René Arzate García. This is not merely a legal step forward, but also a powerful testament to the determination to protect the core humane values of society. This event marks a major shift as the case has escalated to an unprecedented level of severity in the history of transnational crime. Federal prosecutors have officially charged this figure with extremely dangerous acts, including operating a large-scale illicit drug ring and providing material support for activities that sabotage security. This decision is a direct consequence of a crucial executive order issued in early 2025. This order officially listed this underground network on the list of foreign security-threatening organizations. According to detailed investigative records, René Arzate García and his brother Alfonso Arzate García, with the alias Achilles, are the individuals holding managerial power in the Tijuana area. Under their roles as regional operators, these individuals are responsible for overseeing all illegal activities of this underground network at the border region and surrounding areas. Exposing this ring brings a profound lesson in vigilance to the community about the sophistication of underground organizations. We need to clearly realize that today's criminals do not operate in isolation, but have evolved into complex networks that directly threaten national security. The operations of this group are of a massive scale, involving the smuggling of massive amounts of illicit substances into our living environment. These toxic substances include highly dangerous refined chemicals and narcotics in extremely large quantities. This new indictment has replaced an old record from 2014, proving the dangerous expansion of power by the criminal group. The increase in the volume of illicit substances means that thousands more families have to face the risk of being broken by social evils. The lesson drawn here is that vigilance from families and schools is absolutely essential to protect the younger generation from these deadly temptations. The danger of this network lies not only in the volume of poison they sow into the community. This group is also notorious for acts of sowing fear, depriving others of their freedom and lives to enforce underground discipline. The indictment also clarifies their dark history of using money to corrupt numerous officials and local law enforcement forces. At the same time, they carry out acts of extortion against legitimate businesses. These behaviors devastate the economy and severely degrade social morality. The danger level of this network prompted the United States Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control to officially list this individual on the roster of the most dangerous ringleaders in 2023. Clearly identifying the target helps law enforcement forces easily isolate and eradicate their financial resources. Through this, we can see that the law always has sharp professional measures to track down and stop evil. Financial transparency is one of the most solid barriers against the infiltration of criminals. Have you ever wondered how hidden threats from outside our borders can creep into every street and threaten the peace of our families? This question is always a deep concern for those working in security protection and for every parent. Clearly understanding the operating methods of these gangs will help us build a distant defense barrier. Every citizen needs to be the eyes and ears of the community to promptly detect and prevent unusual signs. If you find this information helpful and wish to join hands in building a safer community, please hit like and subscribe to our channel to update yourself with important knowledge every day. Your companionship is an immense source of motivation for us to continue spreading messages that protect life. Each of your shares can save a life teetering before the traps of addictive substances. Let us together create a wave of knowledge to push back the darkness of social evils. The indictment led by Assistant U.S. Attorneys Joshua Meller and Matthew Sutton listed a series of extremely serious charges. These allegations reflect the devastatingly destructive nature of the underground network to public safety. Specifically, the subject René is facing a maximum penalty of life imprisonment for charges related to the dangerous illicit drug ring. The mandatory minimum sentence is 20 years in prison, accompanied by a fine that can be up to $20 million. This appropriate punishment is a firm assertion that crime will always have to pay a heavy price. For the charge of providing material support for sabotage activities, the maximum penalty issued is 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. Operating a continuing criminal enterprise also brings a penalty framework of up to life imprisonment with a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years and a fine of $10 million. These numbers are not only physical punishments, but also the absolute deprivation of all economic resources of evil. Thereby, the legal system sends a message that dirty money will never bring a peaceful life. In addition, the charges of international conspiracy to distribute and import controlled substances also carry a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. The mandatory minimum is 10 years in prison and a fine of $10 million for each charge. The charge of conspiracy to launder money was also brought to light with a penalty of up to 20 years in prison. The IRS Criminal Investigation Unit in Los Angeles, represented by Special Agent Tyler Hatcher, worked tirelessly to trace this illicit cash flow. Exposing these financial lifelines is the key to collapsing the entire criminal system. However, according to the fundamental legal principles of a civilized society, the charges and allegations in the current indictment are merely accusations. Every defendant is fully presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. This principle demonstrates the humanity and absolute fairness of the justice system. It ensures that any decision to deprive a person of their freedom must be based on authentic and undeniable evidence. This historic case is a clear testament to the unprecedented collaborative commitment of law enforcement agencies. The investigation was conducted and prosecuted by the California Homeland Security Task Force under Operation Take Back America. This force was established with the sacred goal of protecting citizens from the infiltration of dangerous elements. The ultimate goal is to completely eradicate transnational criminal organizations and human trafficking rings. The unity of functional agencies is exactly the most solid shield protecting the purity of society. In addition, the case also received strong support from the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Program. This is an essential program established by Congress since 1988 to provide assistance to law enforcement agencies at all levels. This program operates in areas identified as hotspots for social evils, helping to focus resources to thoroughly resolve the issue. The lesson from this coordination is the power of unity. When all levels from central to local join hands, no dark force can exist. To accelerate the process of bringing about justice, the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs officially announced a massive reward of up to $5 million. This money is for anyone who provides information leading to the arrest and conviction of the two brothers in this ring. Senior official Chris Landberg emphasized the resolute stance that those who transport poison into the community will certainly be hunted down to the end. Mobilizing power from the masses is a smart strategy showing the indispensable role of each individual in maintaining security and order. Have we truly equipped ourselves with enough knowledge to protect the younger generation from the sophisticated traps of these transnational criminal gangs, yet faced with information about the sophisticated methods of hiding and transporting illicit substances, educating teenagers becomes more urgent than ever. We need to teach our children how to recognize and stay away from enticements from strangers. Only when the future generation is equipped with a solid mindset can we hope for a society wiped clean of social evils. The event of announcing the indictment attracted the deep attention of the highest level leaders in the justice and security apparatus. Attorney General Pamela Bondi issued an ironclad statement emphasizing the strategic shift in the anti-crime campaign. She asserted that violent criminal organizations have spent decades poisoning our children, but that will be completely ended. This indictment follows the landmark sentencing of a co-founder of the network on American soil. This is a solid affirmation that justice will always smile upon those who incline towards goodness. Drug Enforcement Administration Administrator Terrence Cole also exposed the ruthless nature of the subject operating this region. He called him a ruthless destroyer who specializes in exploiting social loopholes to flood communities with poison and fear. This sharing awakens us to the fact that we must fill the loopholes in social management and family education. Wherever there is care and love, crime cannot have a chance to creep in. Human affection is precisely the most effective remedy to heal wounded communities. DEA Special Agent in San Diego. Mr. James Nunnally also emphasized the steadfast commitment to eradicating networks that threaten public safety. FBI Director Kash Patel and the special agent in charge in San Diego, Mr. T.J. Holland, also reaffirmed the use of all resources to disrupt the activities of this group. Classifying this network as a foreign security-threatening organization accurately reflects their nature of threatening national security. The unanimity of law enforcement agencies brings a firm belief to the citizens about a safe and bright future. The most chilling and powerful warning came from U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon of the Southern District of California. He directly sent a message to the leaders of the cartel who are currently still at large that running or fighting is merely an illusion. The reality is that they only have one path, which is to face justice, or they will be forcibly brought into the light of the law. This statement demonstrates the spirit of absolute supremacy of the law. No force can stand above the law, and no crime can be forgotten in the darkness. To properly assess the level of severity from this illegal network, we need to look at the big picture of other widespread crackdowns currently taking place. One of the most burning issues is the arming of violent gangs. These organizations cannot maintain power without lethal tools. According to data from early 2025, authorities have led a nationwide sweeping campaign and seized up to tens of thousands of illegal weapons. Stripping away the violent tools of evil is the first step to restoring peace to the lands that are suffering much damage. Along with the massive quantity of weapons, authorities also seized millions of lethal materials from the hands of gangs and illegal suppliers. Frighteningly, up to thousands of pieces of military equipment and materials were identified as being en route to be transported to a neighboring country. On average, every day a large amount of materials is smuggled out to arm violent groups. Cutting off this supply has a life or death significance in protecting thousands of innocent lives. Peace will only truly come when lethal tools are completely eliminated from society. Besides that, underground organizations from outside our borders are also frantically planting roots with production and distribution facilities right on domestic territory. A typical case recently announced in late February 2026 in the city of Atlanta has shocked public opinion. Authorities arrested 3 individuals residing illegally who are accused of brazenly operating an underground mixing facility right in the backyard of a suburban home. This event sounds the alarm bell that criminals are no longer far away, but may be hiding right in our residential areas. When the special agents raided, they discovered and seized about 100 pounds of liquid chemicals mixed and hidden extremely sophisticatedly inside concrete blocks. Along with that were dozens of liters of other dangerous solutions waiting to be formulated. Notably, one of the defendants is also a focal point related to a historic arrest in August 2024. At that time, authorities discovered a massive amount of chemicals sophisticatedly disguised in produce crates at a local market. This malicious tactic shows that they are ready to exploit the most essential needs of humans to sow death. U.S. Attorney Theodore S. Hertzberg frankly declared that the government will do everything to ensure that gangs never gain a foothold. Even if they try to take root in peaceful neighborhoods, functional forces will continue to fiercely prosecute those responsible for producing and distributing poison. The special agent in Atlanta, Mr. J.W. Chung, also harshly condemned the behavior of disregarding human life when setting up a dangerous facility right near residential areas and places where children live. The outrage of the officials is exactly the inner voice of millions of honest citizens yearning for a clean living environment. Faced with the relentless efforts of law enforcement forces, what do you think each of us citizens needs to do to contribute to building a safer and stronger community? Each of us does not need to do things that are too grandiose, just raise our awareness of vigilance and educate our families well. Teaching our children to distinguish right from wrong and recognize the hidden dangers from the surrounding environment is the most solid protective shield. Let us turn every family into an impenetrable fortress against toxic cultural waves and frivolous material temptations. Your support by hitting like and subscribing to the channel is exactly the immense motivation helping us continue to spread humane messages and profound vigilance lessons to every home. By sharing these stories, you are contributing a part of your effort into awakening the community. Let us together build a useful social media space where good information is spread and wrongdoings are strongly condemned. Every small action of yours today will contribute to creating a brighter future for the next generation. These indictments and continuous sweeps follow a long-standing and proud tradition of law enforcement agencies in dismantling evil. History has witnessed the collapse of countless of the world's most brutal organizations thanks to the perseverance and wisdom of the justice forces. From the disintegration of notorious networks in the past to the recent powerful blows against the current underground structure. The truth always proves that no matter how sophisticatedly organized criminals are, they cannot escape the net of the law woven from the power of righteousness. The United States government is mobilizing its full strength not only from professional investigative agencies, but also from the immense power of the masses. Authorities earnestly call on anyone who has information about the ringleaders to boldly contact them anonymously to assist in the arrests. Real power always lies in the hands of the people. When every citizen bravely stands up to denounce crime, the darkness of fear will be dispelled, giving way to the light of justice and peace. The bravery of the community is the sharpest weapon to smash all underground forces. Community education is the key to preventing the repetition of these heartbreaking events. Every family and every school needs to increase open conversations about how to handle dissenting views. We need to teach future generations how to distinguish between factual information and inflammatory rhetoric. Equipping the youth with critical thinking skills and empathy will help them become responsible citizens who know how to build society with positive contributions instead of blind destruction. The Justice Agency, under the direction of the Campaign to Protect America, will continue to move forward forcefully. They will cut off all financial octopus tentacles, stop the weapons supply chains, and eradicate every infiltration effort by transnational underground forces. This story leaves us with a deep belief in the ultimate victory of good. As long as we always hold firm to our faith, raise our spirit of vigilance, and unite together, no sinful force can take away the right to live in a peaceful, safe, and loving environment of humanity.